some people do confuse art with real life. And hey, we have a perfect example of that coming up in the next song, which is titled Stan. I think the only song that has created a word that is now in the Oxford Dictionary. To be a stan. And this is Dido. And the song is sampled. I think the song is Thank You by Dido, an English pop star. And when Eminem heard this part of the line, the first thing he thought of was obsessed fan. So he wrote the song Stan about an obsessed fan. Stan and fan rhyme, of course, and that's probably not a coincidence.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom.
So that's what you want to do. When you write someone a letter, you want to leave your cell, your pager, and your home phone at the bottom. It's funny, this album is only 25 years old, but it sounds like maybe it's from longer than that. I am not old enough to even have memories of someone having a pager. I mean, maybe I saw it when I was 10 years old and didn't know what it was. But I think everyone is familiar. Oh, this is hilarious. I'm looking at the plays on Spotify. So Kill You has 290 million. This one has 1 billion. I believe it's one of a few songs. I'm sure Without Me, The Real Slim Shady, and Lose Yourself has over 1 billion. The next song, quote unquote song, is the Paul skit, which in contrast has 15,000, which is probably because no one listens to the skit on its own. They probably only listen to it when they're listening to the album, and they might even skip it when they're listening to the album. So I'm sure a lot of people are familiar, but if you're not, the first 3 verses of the song are written from the perspective of a obsessed fan, someone that loves Eminem to an unhealthy degree, and his name is Stan.
I sent 2 letters back in autumn, you must not have got them. There probably was a problem at the post office or something. Sometimes I scribble addresses too sloppy when I jot them. But anyways, fuck it, what's been up, man? How's your daughter? My girlfriend's pregnant too, I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'ma call her? I'ma name her Bonnie.
All right, so that's unhinged behavior from Stan. As you may or may not know, he's referencing a song that Eminem released on the Slim Shady EP and then later the Slim Shady LP, which is called 97 Bonnie and Clyde. 97 is the year he wrote the song. And Bonnie and Clyde is a reference to the outlaw duo. And the plot of the song is that Eminem has killed his wife, Kim. And there's a song called Kim on this album. But in the song 97 Bonnie and Clyde, he has already killed his wife, and then he's talking to his daughter Haley in baby talk. It's it's very clean, doesn't have any bad words. And so anyway, Stan is saying, hey, I'm also going to be a dad. My girlfriend's pregnant, and I'm going to name her Bonnie as an homage to the song you wrote about killing your wife. So Stan's kind of confused.
I read about your Uncle Ronnie too, I'm sorry. I had a friend kill himself over some bitch who didn't want him. I know.
So Eminem's Uncle Ronnie, he was his uncle, but in true trailer trash fashion, he has an uncle that's roughly the same age as him. His mom's little brother. And Ronnie's actually the guy that got Marshall into rap music, right? And then tragically, he unalived a couple years later, and allegedly Marshall was so broken up by that he didn't even attend Ronnie's funeral. So Stan is trying to relate to him, saying he's also experienced loss.
Probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even got the underground shit that you did with Scam.
The underground stuff that he did with Scam is so good. I love that. Back then I had no idea what he was I had no idea who Scam was. If you just YouTube Eminem Scam, I mean, there's so much material that Marshall put out in 1998. Just look up Eminem 1998. There's literally hours worth of freestyle, and you do hear him repeat certain lines and certain verses every once in a while. But it's just, he was so desperate for fame, and he loved music so much that he put out so much material, and then it's available to all of us on the internet now. It's pretty awesome.
Got a room full of your posters and your pictures, man. I like the shit you did with Ruckus too.
That stuff was fat.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Ruckus Records never officially signed Eminem, but I think it's Ruckus Volume 2. Don't quote me on that. But he has a song called Any Man. And it's an amazing song. He has a line, "I'm an alcoholic and that's all I could say. I call out of work because all I do is frolic and play," which just makes me giggle.
I hope you get this, man. Hit me back, just the chat. Truly yours, your biggest fan. This is Stan.
Dido has a beautiful voice. It's not as good as Elton John. I guess I should mention that. Yeah, so before we get to the second letter that Stan is writing, I guess I should mention the live performance at the Grammys, where the hook sang by Dido is sung by Elton John. And the reason that they did that is because with the release of the Slim Shady LP, Eminem has a lot of, like I talked about earlier, has a lot of misogynistic material, and he had a lot of gay jokes too. And so he was He was protested by the American right because, if you love Jesus, you probably don't love Eminem. And also he's a white guy bringing black music to the mainstream, but the left hated him too for the reasons I just mentioned. And I guess the Grammys reached out to Marshall and said, "Can you do a song for the Grammys?" And the story goes that either he or Proof, his friend and hype man Proof, responded, "Hey, the only way I could do the Grammys is if I come out with Elton John." And then they said that in jest, and they were like, "Hold on, that might actually be a thing that we could do." And Elton John, as an artist, was like, "Hey, I understand what Eminem's doing. I understand like the horrorcore vibes, and I don't think he's actually homophobic." And it was actually the start of a long friendship. But yeah, I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think it was a surprise to everyone at the Grammys that Elton John was singing chorus and playing the piano.
You still ain't called a roll. I hope you have a chance. I ain't mad. I just think it's messed up you don't answer fans.
That's the thing too. In my head, I always have the edited version that he does. Because, well, in the edited version in the album, they just bleep the bad words. But when he's doing it live at the Grammys with Elton John, he replaces like shit with shoot and fucked up with messed up. So whenever I'm listening to it, I always think of that version. If you've never seen the Eminem Elton John version, you got to watch it. It's really good.
Me outside your concert, you didn't have to, but you could have signed an autograph for Matthew. That's my little brother, man. He's only 6 years old. We waited in the blistering cold for you for 4 hours, and you just said no.
That's pretty crummy, man. You're like his favorite idol.
He wants to be just like you, man. He likes you more than I do. I ain't that mad, though. I just don't like being lied to.
So yeah, you could tell that Stan in his second letter is getting a little more unhinged. He's not quite as unhinged as he's going to be in his third and final letter. But also, if you watch the Stan video, Stan references his brother Matthew, who loves Eminem even more than Stan does. But when you see the video, Matthew doesn't care at all, right? So that's Stan projecting onto his little brother.
When we met in Denver, you said if I write you would write back. See, I'm just like you in a way. I never knew my father neither. He used to always cheat on my mom and beat her. I can relate to what you're saying in your songs. So when I have a crummy day, I drift away and put them on, because I don't really got shit else. So that shit helps when I'm depressed.
So actually that part of the song, when Marshall performed it live at the Grammys, he actually messed up. Well, I'm not sure if he messed up or it was just easier to say. But, instead of saying shit, he was saying stuff the whole time. But that one line, he goes, "Because I don't really got shit else. So that shit helps when I'm depressed." So he said that with the two shits in there. But I think maybe that was just, it worked better. And standards and practices allowed him a couple of shits, right? Like that episode of South Park where they say shit a bunch of times and they had to like negotiate how many times they could say shit. I've probably said shit enough times that I'm not gonna be monetized by this video, but that's okay, guys.
I even got a tattoo with
Your name across the chest. Sometimes I even cut myself to see how much it bleeds. All right, so Stan's off the deep end, dude. He's cutting himself because he thinks Eminem's Slim Shady persona is real, right? And Slim Shady, of course, cartoonishly likes to cut himself and do all sorts of self-destructive things. So Stan, not understanding that, thinks that everything he's saying in his music is real.
The pain is such a sudden rush for me. See, everything you say is real, and I respect you because you tell it. My girlfriend's jealous because I talk about you 24/7.
I mean, I'm on Stan's girlfriend's side on this one.
Slim. No one does. She don't know what it was like for people like us growing up. You gotta call me, man. I'll be the biggest fan you'll ever lose. Sincerely yours, Stan.
P.S. We should be together too. So this part went over my head when I was listening as a 10-year-old. I didn't understand the homoeroticism in the song at all. So I guess I didn't understand the concept of being together with someone, or I just never heard that expression. So I didn't get that Stan is not only an admirer of Eminem, but like possibly romantically in love with him. No, I thought maybe he just wanted to start a rap group with him. Canonically, Stan is a rapper, right? Not a successful one, but I mean, sounds suspiciously like Marshall, actually. And if you watch the live version at the Grammys with Elton John, the first time he sings, everyone applauds. And the second time, everyone applauds. And then the third time, they're like, why do we have to clap every time? We know it's Elton John. In fact, Eminem was worried that the song was going to be too long when he wrote it. It was one of his best hits.
Dear mister, I'm too good to call and write my fans.
All right, so this is the third and final letter from Stan, and he's really unhinged. I think that for the most part, this verse speaks for itself.
This will be the last package I ever send your ass. It's been 6 months and still no word. I don't deserve it. I know you got my last 2 letters. I wrote the addresses on them perfect. So this is my cassette I'm sending you. I hope you hear it. I'm in the car right now. I'm doing 90 on the freeway. Hey,
so if you haven't caught that, Stan is not writing a traditional letter this time. He is in the car recording a cassette, which is going to become a problem later on.
I drank a fifth of vodka. You dare me to drive?
Of course, that's a reference to a line in My Name Is, I drank a fifth of vodka, dare me to drive. And the edited version of that actually is I drank a fifth of Kool-Aid, dare me to drive. And I was such a little kid. I had no concept of them like censoring that he's drinking and driving, right? So I thought I drank a fifth of Kool-Aid, dare me to drive was a reference to the Jonestown Massacre, which it wasn't. I'll talk about that a little bit, my little kid misunderstandings, and there's a lot.
Song by Phil Collins, In the Air of the Night, about that guy who could have saved that other.
Okay, and the Phil Collins song In the Air of the Night is not about watching someone drowned. It's about Phil Collins' divorce. Phil Collins is on record as saying that. It's one of those rumors that a lot of people believed, including Stan and I guess Marshall as well.
I'm drowning, but didn't. Then Phil saw it all, then at a show he found him. That's kind of how this is. You could have rescued me from drowning. Now it's too late. I'm on 1,000 downers now. I'm drowsy. And all I wanted was a lousy letter or a call. I hope you know I ripped all of your pictures off the wall. I love you, Slim. We could have been together. Think about it. You ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you when you can't breathe without me. See, Slim? Shut up, bitch. I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, so Stan has his girlfriend in the trunk of his car, again emulating that song I was talking about earlier, 97 Bonnie and Clyde. So Stan doesn't understand art, and he thinks everything Eminem says in his music is real, and therefore he wants to emulate everything that Eminem does. I think it's kind of a clever way for, again, Marshall to be like, hey kids, this is just art you're listening to, not something that emulator takes seriously.
Hey Slim, that's my girlfriend screaming in the trunk, but I didn't slit her throat, I just tied her up. See, I ain't like you, cause if she suffocates, she'll suffer more, and then she'll die too.
Okay, I'm only laughing because I'm thinking about the edited version that I listened to as a kid, where full sentences were just cut off, and I remember I had no idea what was happening. Because I hadn't listened to the Slim Shady LP. I didn't know what 97 Bonnie and Clyde was. I had to piece this all together later. So they cut out large sections of this verse, but you could still hear a woman screaming in the background. So I was able to deduce even at 10 years old that Stan wasn't doing something good.
Well, gotta go. I'm almost at the bridge now.
Oh shoot, I forgot. How am I supposed to send this tape out? I love the bass line. I'm not a great bass player, but whenever I am, I play bass like a guitarist plays bass. And whenever I always play this song, dude. Are there any other examples of a song taking a sample being more popular than this song it was sampled from?
Dear Stan, I meant to write you soon.
Let me know in the comments. I can't think of one offhand. So now Eminem is writing his response. Of course, he doesn't know Stan is dead.
I wrote it on the starter cap. I'm sorry I didn't see you with the show. I must have missed you. Don't think I did that shit intentionally just to diss you. But what's the shit you said about you like to cut your wrist too?
I'd say that shit is clowning, dog. Come on, how messed up is you?
You got some issues, Stan. I think you need some counseling to help your ass from bouncing off the walls when you get down some.
You know what's interesting is I forget if this next line is blocked out in the edited version, but if you look at the edited Stan music video on Vivo, they actually block out this entire sentence.
What's the shit about us meant to be together? That type of shit'll make me not want us to meet each other.
Yeah, and I can't figure out quite why, other than it's interesting because in 2025 maybe the argument is that like it's homophobic, right? Like Eminem is like, why are you saying we're gonna be together? That makes me not even want to shake your hand, which I guess could be interpreted as homophobic, but it's also just like a weird parasocial thing that he'd be creeped out if a woman felt that way too. And then my second theory is that it's edited from when it was originally released in 2000 when it was the opposite reason. They're like, well, there's children listening to this. We can't have gay stuff in there.
I really think you and your girlfriend need each other, but maybe you just need to treat her better. I hope you get to read this letter. I just hope it reaches you in time before you hurt yourself. I think that you'll be doing just fine if you relax a little. I'm glad I inspire you, but Stan, why are you so mad? Try to understand that I do want you as a fan. I just don't want you to do some crazy shit. I seen this one shit on the news a couple weeks ago that made me sick. Some dude was drunk and drove his car over a bridge and had his girlfriend in the trunk, and she was pregnant with his kid. And in the car they found a tape, but it didn't say who it was to.
Is he gonna realize it? His name was you. Damn. I love that. It's, first of all, it blew my mind when I was little that, you know, oh my God, Eminem realizes that the guy he saw on the news was Stan, you know, and it is really clever. I think he has like the most underwhelming response to learning that his fan emulated one of his songs and committed a double homicide and a suicide. Imagine you found that out. Would your response be, damn? Like, you got to give it a little bit more than that, but I don't know. It's such a brilliant song. I think we are going to go through the Paul skit, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.